Look, let me go ahead and get this right, man. We need to get it right. We need to get it right. I'm talking about church folk. We need to get it right. I'm talking about us that say that we are followers of Christ and that we are out here fulfilling the Great Commission. We need to get it right. Judgment needs to start in the house. New Israel is a new thing. All right. This is a new thing. All right. Remember when he told Isaiah? Remember when he told Jeremiah? He told them guys, I'm going to do a new thing. We need to get it right. We need to get it right. The book did not say anything about who was to go to who first. The book said, if you have an ought with your brother, you are to go to that person, make it right, then come back and make your offering, present your offering to the Lord. That's what the book said. The book didn't say if you have an ought against your brother and you the one that started it, you need to go to him. The book didn't say if you have an ought against your brother and your brother was the one that started, wait for them to come to you and straighten it up. No, the book said from the moment there's an issue, you need to go straighten that issue out. Forget about all this coming up in here and offering praise, worships, and tithes and offering and all that to the Lord. Man, forget about all that. Sit that down for a minute. Go and find the person that there's an ought against and go straighten it out. This is mature stuff now. We're talking mature stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Paul said when you was a baby, I gave you milk. Now that you're an adult, now that you're mature, I'm going to give you a little more meat. Well, this is meat. This is meat right here. All right? It's time out for us sitting around waiting on folk to come make it right with us. But the whole time you sit up in church, you are careful not to sit by that person because there's some tension there. Well, guess what? You need to dispel that tension. You need to get that out of the way. Why? Because whether you know it or not, it's hindering you. The next person may not so much care about their relationship with God. But if you cared about yours, if you're trying to go to the next level, then you need to understand you need to make some moves in order to amend some things. Some stuff you ain't even start. It wasn't even your fault. But think about how that child is. First thing that baby will say is, I didn't do it. He started it. That's the first thing that baby will say. He started it. Well, I got to apologize. He hit me first. And that's how some of us are sitting in church. I ain't said nothing to her. I ain't said, I'm going to just pray for her. I'm going to just pray for her. Because they talked about Jesus too. I'm just going to pray for her. No, listen. And them prayers aren't being heard. Them prayers aren't being heard. Because God says, there's an issue. Go there. Go straighten it out. Don't be sitting up with the next person you talking about them. Yeah, they got she talking. No, go straighten it out. What? They talking about me over there. For what? Go straighten it out. Hey, look, brother. Man, there's a rumor going around, and I ain't one for rumors. I like to step on the devil's head as soon as I see him trying to pick it up. Somebody said you was talking about me. Matter of fact, I ain't even going to hold it in. Brother James over there, he said you were talking about me. He said you said this right here. And he brought it up to my attention. And brother, I don't know what I might have did to offend you. But I ain't had no ill thoughts towards you, and I apologize if I did do something and I was unconscious of it. Please forgive me. I'm here for you. I do whatever I can do. Give you the shirt off my back. Please forgive me. Yeah, bro, James over there. Yeah, right there with the blue hat on. Yeah, James said it. James, come here. Come here. Yeah, this James and James. That's how you supposed to do. You too much worried about causing a problem, causing a scene. I ain't even gonna say nothing. And the whole time the enemy is allowing this situation to fester until y'all are sitting in church with attitudes towards each other. Yet you lifting your hands trying to praise God. Honey, God is not accepting that. It's time to get it right. It's time to get it right. I'm sick and tired of church folk being the main gossipers. Church folk forgetting that the same blood that was shed for them was shed for the next person. Church folk, same ones walking around with a knife in their pocket waiting on you to turn your back. Church folk, the same one putting posts on Instagram and posts on Facebook, subliminally talking about each other. Church folk, main ones running around trying to down each other. Church folk, you are the reason why there's some folk out there that need to come into the fold to be workers of the Lord are not coming. And God says, let me tell you something, that blood is on your hands. Did you hear what I just told you? God said, your gossiping is causing my children not to come in and hear the word that I am giving to the manservant. Therefore, their blood is on your hands. You better understand that. You better understand that. All right? What you're doing, that false life that you're living that's causing other people to turn away from the fold. Don't sit there and say, well, don't look at people. Don't look at people. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Do we not watch the life of Christ? Do we not seek to exemplify the life of Christ? Did Christ not say, follow me? How can we follow him if we're not watching him? If Christ lived a life of fornication, then it would be okay for us to fornicate. If Christ lived a life of adultery, it would be okay for us to commit adultery. If Christ lived a life of lying and backbiting, it would be okay for us to live that type of life. But because he lived a life that was upright, it's okay for us to strive to be upright. And when I hear people all the time say, we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory. Let me tell you something. That word was used in the past tense. We all have fallen short. Falling is a past tense word. That means that's already happened. Ain't no reason for you to keep falling. You understand what I'm saying? You need to make up in your mind that this is the life that I'm going to live. And then you strive to live such a life. I don't get it how we'll walk into a job and they'll show us what is required. They'll tell us what is required. They'll give us a little pamphlet that shows us and tells us and explains to us what this job requires. And we will live that thing to a T. We'll get up every day faithfully. We'll be in there at 9 o'clock and we're going to stay in there till 5 o'clock. And we're going to do everything that is required of us for these hours every day because we look forward to a reward. But here is the book telling us what is required, telling us how long we're supposed to do it, giving us a guideline, and then it's telling us the great reward that we're going to receive at the end. And all throughout the book, all throughout our time that we're supposed to be living this, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that to shortcut ways around, but still we expect the same full benefit at the end. Man, you got to be kidding me. You don't think God is watching what is going on? You're not going to get any peace in your life. You're not going to rise to the next level of prosperity by living the way you're living towards others that are striving to do the same thing. We are supposed to come together. The strong must bear the infirmities of the weak. Where you are weak, I am supposed to pick you up in that area. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're only as strong as your weakest link. I never understood that until I started dealing with the church. We are so strong in a lot of areas. Oh, when it comes to lifting up a praise and raising the roof, man, we can do that. When it comes to raising up a little bit of money to get something done, man, we can do that. But when it comes to banding together to make sure that it ain't no gossiping in here, and I don't care what you say, there's a church without a spot or a wrinkle. That's a person, you know. There's some folk walking around without spot or wrinkle. And if we become more folk that are walking around without spot or wrinkle, then guess what? This whole gathering of us will be without spot or wrinkle, and God will present himself to us more freely, more openly, and you will see miraculous things beginning to happen in each other's lives. But we've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. From the head all the way down to the tail. I want folk all the way in the pulpit to stop looking at people on the back row as if they are minute or they're not as important as you are. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Ain't one person in here any less significant than the other, because God does not have a favor of folk. He does not. I don't care what your statue is. I'm not going to love you no more than I love the person of lower stature. I don't care. Stop sitting in these groups. Stop getting together doing this. Stop getting together doing that. Stop looking down at one another. Do you understand me? When you come into a church and you see somebody, stop looking at their shoes first, then look up at it. Stop that. Stop that. Hug that person. Grab that person. Build that person up. Help each other. Get it right.